I watched the wrong 3-hour movie. I watched Steel Magnolias.
Very, very, very different.
Did you really?
No, I'm joking.
Okay, I'm going to jump into this. Welcome to the Two Older Pure Gold movie podcast, where Gen X and the next generation revisit movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to see if they still hold up. In today's episode, we are discussing the 1999 drama Magnolia. I'm your host, Olen Vanderleeden, representing Gen X. Joining me today is my Gen X co-host, Mathew Stockton, the Donnie of our group. Hello, Mathew.
Good morning.
Representing the millennials, this week we have Clef Seeley. Good morning, Clef.
Howdy. Good morning.
And we also have comedian Will Corry.
Hey, hello.
Can't wait to hear what you think of all the funny moments in this film, Will. And guys, we have a new dial-in line for anyone that has comments for the podcast, so write it down. It's
Dial in
1877-TAME-HER. Feel free to dial in with any of your comments.
Right.
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I know. Pretty funny, right? I'm not even a comedian.
He wrote that down and he just thought, wow, I got to get this out early.
I got to get it out before Will starts going. Once Will is half a copy in, there's no stopping him.
There's going to be no space.
No editing, no second thoughts if it was any good or not. Just gotta get it.
I don't doubt myself. I'm not the Donnie of our group.
Fortune favors the
Okay,
fool.
this intro is going slower than I thought. Magnolia stars Matthew's favorite actor, Tom Cruise. It also has Jason Robards and Julianne Moore, a ton of people, which we'll get into. This movie is written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson is a favorite of mine because he did Boogie Nights, a movie that I think is just brilliant. And he went on after this to direct movies like There Will Be Blood and Punch Drunk Love, so he's a pretty well-respected director. The tagline for the movie is, "We may be through with the past, but the past ain't through with us." Pretty good. IMDb describes the film as an epic mosaic of interrelated characters search for love, forgiveness, and meaning in the San Fernando Valley. I think that checks out. But for those of you that have not seen the movie, I asked my 94-year-old dad to watch Magnolia and summarize the plot. And it is surprisingly tight. Get ready for this.
Oh boy.
Magnolia is a monumental 3-hour drama that explores a single day in the life of a wide range of interrelated people who are searching for love, forgiveness, and meaning while struggling with anger, regret, trauma, and family dysfunction. As the story develops, it becomes clear that most of the characters are connected one way or another. All of these links are obviously intended to encourage viewers to think about the interpretation of the various scenes and perhaps even their own experiences. But although Magnolia is undoubtedly a powerful and interesting movie, I have no doubt some will find it disturbing because of the anger issues and the apparent lack of clarity. So lots to have a great discussion.
He's not wrong.
Well
He's
put.
not wrong.
Wow, very poignant.
Totally agree.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Anybody want to go first, or should I just dive into this? I guess I will dive in.
Yeah, you go. You
Okay,
go first.
so first of all, this is for me a difficult one to prepare for. I can't really approach Magnolia with the usual, fun scene, fart scene kind of discussion. But for me, I found it to be an incredible movie. I found it really compelling, heartbreaking, and emotionally heavy in a way that few movies are. I just thought the acting was excellent. I couldn't get over it. And, I think felt the weight that these characters are carrying. And then when it ended, I walked away from this with just a feeling of, everybody's going through something, right? And you never really can tell. Anyhow, I'm not quite sure what to say about this movie, except that I really like it. This is actually my third watch of this movie. First time I watched it, I thought, what did I see? Second time I watched it, I loved it, and then this time I still love it.
Watch it 3 times. It's like a part-time job.
And I know 3 hours is tough on our millennials, but what did you guys think?
Oh boy. It's a 3-hour marathon. I think I really probably need to watch this a second, maybe a third time to fully get it. I had to watch it in parts, actually, just because of the timing of my schedule.
Yeah.
It was my birthday this weekend, so I was a little busy. But the first hour I watched with Jess, and we both were like, what is going on? Like, I had no idea. It was multiple characters cutting from scene to scene. There was like no connection as far as I could tell. And then, it all kind of weaves together in the end. And I started to absorb, some of the film's message a little bit, which is, trauma and letting go and regret and all that stuff and human connection. So I thought it was really powerful, but I would like a second rewatch to kind of get a better grasp on things.
You make a great point. This movie does not reward people who don't stick around for the end.
No, not at all.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie is dense. I think that was the first thing that stood out to me about it. I, too, had to watch it in 2 parts. I watched the first 2 hours late at night and got to a point where I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And then I watched the last hour yesterday, and I thought, okay, I see a little bit where the payoff comes from. But when I was thinking about the conversation for this, I was thinking about, like, as a teenager, I probably would have really liked this movie a lot, because I went through a phase, which is like, I don't think it's that relatable, but I went through this phase in high school where I got really into postmodern fiction. I got really into like David Foster Wallace and like Haruki Murakami, like that kind of like book. This kind of like long, dense, modern narrative where things don't really happen and, you're not really sure what the message is at the end. And so definitely like as a teenager, I would have been super into this. But like now as a 33-year-old, and like we just closed on buying a house this week. So like I was just thinking this whole week about like how things do matter and what's important there. And so like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, like the sins of a father. That seems to be like a pretty strong theme throughout this movie, like the sins of family and like the way that family affects you. But a lot of the time now when I read into that postmodern fiction that I was really into as a teenager, I think to myself, like, a lot of it is just dense for the sake of dense. And I was finding myself wondering, like, is this movie just, like, too much? And when I was also watching like a couple of reviews on YouTube as well to try and get a sense of like what do other people think. And a lot of people talk about how they think that the length of it is like a great factor to me. And I just think it's like the 3-hour elephant in the room, that like this movie is too long. It's too long. That's my opinion. It's too long. I get that it's got like 12 characters, like 12 main characters, and the whole idea is that it's weaving their story together. But so much of it seemed redundant to me. So
this would be a good miniseries, wouldn't it? Like if you did each one of these as an episode, and then in the last episode of the series, they sort of tie it together. Because, yeah, I do get that it's long, and it flew by for me.
Well, you don't have ADHD, that's why.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, this movie is like kryptonite for somebody with an attention deficit disorder.
You haven't. This would be great as like 120 YouTube shorts for teenagers.
See, I told you, you got to get your jokes in before he's a half cup of coffee deep, because now he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie too affects you differently depending what stage of life you're in, because Clef, what I hear from you is, hey, I got my own problems going on. I don't have time to dwell on other people's problems. That's sort of what I heard you say. Whereas me, I'm now kind of more looking back. I'm at the age where I'm looking back, and did I treat everybody okay? And
yeah, I've got my own sins of a father to work out.
Exactly, you got your own dad, but I am that dad. So okay, enough of that. Mathew, I would love to hear what you think of this.
So this is consistently one of my top 5 movies, I think. When people ask me,
I didn't even know that.
When people ask me my favorite
I did
movies.
not even know that because I never asked you.
And I think there's a certain type of movie that doesn't ask you to like it so much as it asks to be felt, right? And Magnolia, I think, is firmly in that camp. If it works on you, it really, really works on you. And if it doesn't, it can kind of just feel like 3 hours of emotional maximalism. I understand that. If you're not into it, it's, you know, I mean, 3 hours it's not so bad. But you know, I don't like to put time on movies, right? If for me, if they fill 3 hours gorgeously and with meaning and purpose, it's great. You know, I recently tried to watch the latest Blue movie.
Blue, is that what you call
swimming around?
Avatar.
Avatar. And it's 3 hours long.
You're categorizing movies by color now.
Yeah, I got.
What color is Soul Man?
Oh, man. So I think with this movie, like years ago, I saw it with, actually, you know, speaking of loss and regret, I saw it with somebody who is dead now, actually, and it landed like a revelation when we first saw it, like the ambition, the interwoven lives, the audacity of it all. And Paul Thomas Anderson was basically saying, when I first saw this, I thought he was saying, what if coincidence isn't just coincidence? And then pushing that idea till it breaks. And what's interesting now is, you know, rewatching it years later, when I've had more time to create regrets, you know, and I've had more time to screw things up, and I've had more time to be horrible to people. You know, I think it lands a lot less about spectacle, and I think, or the structure of the big swings that this director was doing at the time, but it's quieter now for me, and it's about, what's it about? It's about regret, inherited damage, and I think the important idea that people don't really change as much as they finally admit who they've been all along, right? And then there's the frogs.
Hold the frogs. Hold the frogs. I have a
Spoiler.
question for you about that, but we'll get into it a little bit later.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Yeah.
I forgot to add this to my review. Perfectly cast.
Yes.
This is a star-studded cast.
Unreal
It's
cast.
Everybody-
incredible.
Everybody is like a fucking bullseye. Tom Cruise is
Yeah.
basically playing himself. Like it's the role of a lifetime for him. He's just a psychopath. William H. Macy, Julianne Moore is like a popped up pill head. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like
Gives
it's
a
just
heartbreaking
John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly fucking brought it. Like, and then another quick shout out to the kid Stanley.
Oh yeah, great.
That kid, I looked him up when I was watching. I was like, this guy's got to be a star now, and he's not really. Like, he didn't do like a ton, but on the game show, I was like, oh my god, this kid's like bringing it. He's pissing his pants. Like, this is wild. But yeah, great.
So
cast.
Will, great point. I actually had in my notes. So the first thing I wrote is this Tom Cruise's best role ever? And then I'm like, wait a minute, is this Julianne Moore's best role? Is this Philip Seymour Hoffman's best role? Jason Robards, I'm going to say it is his best role. Yeah. William Macy, John C. Reilly. Well, that was Step Brothers. But basically, all these guys, is this their best role? Like this is when I say the acting was stunning to me.
The acting is really stunning, but also like it stood out to me how the story is very slice of life. This is like 24 hours, and you know, as we talk about like the theme of regret in this movie, a lot of the regrets that they have and the things that they're talking about, it seems like the worst has happened to them before this story begins. And that a lot of like what we're hearing about in the movie is like retrospective. So dialogue like is a major component of this film. And it did stand out to me at the end, okay, this is a great written movie. But for the first like 2 hours or so, I found myself like, okay, I really have to like stay on this. And as far as like, is this the best acting? I mean, this is fantastic acting, but nobody in this movie had like a particular character. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it didn't have like a character study, because there is very often, like there's obviously a major character study here. But you don't, how do I put this? It's like, everything you see from the acting is like what's on the surface for this character. Does that make sense?
Can I spoil some of the trivia since it's related to the acting? Is in the scene with Tom Cruise when his dad's dying, Jason Robards, he said to the director, "Okay, what am I doing here?" And PT said to him, he said, "Okay, just channel back to when your dad died and use that energy." And Tom Cruise, I mean, that's the performance you get when he's channeling his own dad. And not only was that emotional, Philip Seymour Hoffman with the tears in his eyes, he said that was my real reaction to.
That had to be a real reaction.
That wasn't me summoning tears. That was my real reaction to him. Like, it's these guys seemed like they were living it at the time. Anyhow, Matthew, I'm really excited that I picked one that's on your favorite movie list.
Like literally top 5 all the time.
I forget though, Matthew. You're not a Tom Cruise fan? I know there's some actors like Olen hates Nick Cage.
No, I love Nick Cage.
You love Nick Cage, but you hate Nick Cage, right?
Matthew hates Nick Cage and he hates Tom Cruise.
No, I don't. Hate is a big word. Nicolas Cage is fun, but he's not a great actor. He's a nepo baby. And Tom Cruise. The problem I have with Tom Cruise, with the exception of this movie, right, is that whenever I watch it, I feel like I'm watching Tom Cruise. Right. It's like, look at me, I can do my own stunts. Like, that's what I always feel like. But with this one, I thought he actually reached deep and actually acted in this movie.
Okay, interesting.
His character was so interesting too. Well, let's get into that. So I'd love to hear, from you guys, what's your favorite storyline from this? Okay, go.
I've been sucking too much dick, Olen.
Well, thank you for my cold open and yet another episode that I can't give to our clean channel.
Don't do that.
Can't cut that out anymore.
Just don't do it. Okay. So, can I just talk a bit?
Yeah.
Sure.
You've never asked for permission before.
Amy Mann did the soundtrack to this film, and she wrote it specifically for the movie. And so the soundtrack was Amy Mann. She's fantastic. And I think there's that scene when they're all at their lowest point, and Amy Mann starts singing the song "Wise Up," and it comes in, and all the actors are kind of singing along with the song.
It's my favorite scene.
If you listen to the lyrics, so I love this song so much. It's actually, she wrote about sobriety, but she sings, "It's not what you thought when you first began it. You got what you want. Now you can hardly stand it, though by now you know it's not going to stop till you wise up," right? So the whole thing is like, these people are at their lowest, and it's like, it's time to wise up, right? It's time to deal with all of that trauma and shit, right? And from that time in the movie, it all starts to go forward to these lancing the boils of life in a lot of ways, right? And
cathartic.
I think the best parts of this movie were always the emotional collisions, right? So, Frank T.J. Mackey, and Earl Partridge, the swaggering performance masculinity guy, he's pulled into a hospital room and forced to face a dying father that he's spent his life rejecting. So it's not just a reunion, because it completely collapses Frank's entire fake constructed identity in one scene. He's been trying to run away from himself for years, right? And that sort of alpha bro shit always is a scared little boy trying to outrun something, right? But no matter how far you run, there you are, right? Yeah. And I think Donnie Smith and Jim Curring, Donnie's messy attempt to fix his life intersects with Jim's quiet desire to help people. And I'm going to get into like favorite lines quickly though, but William H. Macy, I think the best performed acted line in all time is William H. Macy was so good in this, wasn't he? I really do have love to give. I just don't know where to put it.
Yeah, that was great.
Wow.
Well, I did want to get to, which of these was the storyline that interested you the most?
The favorite ones?
Favorite's the wrong word. That's why I'm struggling with my words here. Not favorite, because I don't think you like any of these. Like, these, it's all trauma. But which is the one that really was the most interesting to you?
I would say probably the Tom Cruise one. Like, just touching on what Mathew said, the scared little boy, mommy and daddy issues. Because that actually, I know it's 99, but like that's coming back today. I don't know if you guys are like keeping up with like the Manosphere, all the Alpha Bros, like the Andrew Tates of the world. There was a great documentary that just came out on Netflix called Inside the Manosphere with Louis Theroux. And he goes out and interviews all these alpha male influencer guys. And they're all Tom Cruises. Like they're all out there. They're just like insecure, scared little like mommy daddy issue guys who think they gotta like act tough and overcompensate for it. And I was like, holy shit, this has been around for like 2 decades, you know? Like,
Well, that's what I was trying to think was like, is this Tom Cruise character based off of somebody real at that time? Was there like a version of Andrew Tate back then that had that sort of influence at that time? I don't really know, but it's like, it's an interesting character trope to see now because it's something that's so recognizable.
yeah.
It's so, like in the movie, it's just like, there he is. That's Andrew Tate in its full form.
Yeah, it
right?
was very unfamiliar back then.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah,
interesting.
that was a great storyline, and I do love like all the reconciliation or the moving on comes in the last few minutes. But then I like how he came around, and in the end, he's helping Linda Partridge, right, to get through this. It's
Yeah, and how like the majority of his arc as a character is being interviewed or talking to women, right? Like, I mean, he's spending most of the time in that interview, right? You get the sense of who he is on the stage, but then when you really get to know him, it's all in this interview.
That was one of my probably favorite scenes is when he's getting interviewed by the woman and she kind of just calmly and like very easily just kind of just breaks him down, like just like cuts through his bullshit like so effortlessly.
I think what's incredible is like each of these characters, like there's this from the start, there's this slow unraveling, right?
Yeah.
So Frank T.J. Mackey, you know, starts as that pure control and he just unravels. Linda Partridge, actually, it's a sad story, you know. She begins as this frantic, almost chaotic scene. She's defensive and loud and erratic, and eventually you realize that it's guilt. She's loved her husband too late, and there's no way to fix it, right? And Stanley Spector, like, you know, this gifted kid who's actually just exhausted, and his breakdown is like quiet but devastating, right? That when he's realized he's valued performance, not for who he is, right? Like all of these character stories are just so sad.
Well,
like, they're all so sad, man.
I mean, I tried to pick one that was my favorite out of this, and for me, it was the John C. Reilly one. Like he just oozed loneliness, right? And he was such an interesting character.
Yeah, it's just a hard problem to ask, like, which one is your favorite, because you're basically like asking what's your favorite part in the orchestra, right? What's your favorite part in the symphony? Was it like the bassoon section?
Yeah, they're all connected in this movie.
Yeah, you make a good point. So maybe
connected.
it's unfair for me to ask that question, but
It's like an almost impossible question in my mind to discern. Like, to me, it's interesting because like that was the thing that I found the most challenging of this movie is like it is these 11 narratives that are definitely connected, but also the connection is very loose and very overlapping and at times very dissonant. One thing that when I was watching some of these reviews online about the movie, some people talked about how they thought the score was really brilliant. The movie score is really brilliant because it's this very epic, long piece of music that kind of like comes in and out. But then also the film has these scenes where there's background music or where there's dialogue that's going on where the theme is still playing over top of all of that, and it's supposed to give this sense of discomfort, which is clear, like with how the shots come in and out, how things move at this really quick pace. I find it very, very dissociating and like difficult to absorb. So like it's hard to not look at this movie from a sort of a macro perspective for me.
yeah, I thought, I have it as my single favorite scene is where they were all singing along to the song together and how they used that to kind of show that they're all hitting the same point at the same time. I thought was brilliant.
And that's like a high point in the movie. Absolutely. That's a point where you really get the sense of like, we're in the final act here. And then like we've sort of just alluded to it, but the finale with the frogs is like, whoa, this movie's biblical. That's where it like
guys,
hit.
Can you imagine, like, how do you write a movie like this, get this cast, get Amy Mann to do it, and pull this thing off so beautiful? Like, that's talent, right? Like, think about like from zero, from a blank page, how does something this incredible get made?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
It's
yeah.
insane. It's absolutely insane.
Can I spoil some trivia on the casting, because I just thought this was so interesting. Tom Cruise loved Boogie Nights so much. So this is the guy that did Boogie Nights. So much that he contacted Paul Thomas Anderson and asked him to consider him for a part in his next film. Cruise was offered this part, and he was initially terrified of playing such a douchey character, but agreed to do it. And
it doesn't come
such
naturally.
was his desire to work with Anderson that he agreed for a salary of $100,000, which at this time his going rate was $20 million.
Oh, I was wondering that because I had to look up the budget to this movie.
And
after,
guys, look at that. Like, he made $100,000, and he did his best role in his entire career.
I think
right?
so. I think so. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, before we move on,
I thought his best role was actually in Tropic Thunder, but go on.
I thought it was Cocktail, but
essentially the same character.
Les Grossman.
Cocktail.
Cocktail was his best role, but we don't have to get into that now. Okay, before we move on, anybody, can you explain those frogs? I'm not much of a biblical guy.
All I can say is these things happen. Sometimes this is something that happens.
This is something that happens.
That's the point. That's what Stanley says. This happens. This is something that happens. So what happens is, I think, technically actually, is you get whirlwinds of like funnels, like what do you call them? Sort of those
Tornadoes,
kind of
cyclones.
like mini. No, well, yeah, but they're not technically
Water
tornadoes.
spouts.
Yeah, water spouts. They pull up frogs. The frogs are in the sky, and then they dump them somewhere else.
But of course, this was like a sustained rain of frogs.
No, this was biblical, wasn't
This is biblical. And I mean, like, the thing is like the idea of frogs raining from the sky is sort of like ridiculous and absurd, but in the movie they make it look very realistic. They're falling like hail, and some of them are landing in a splat, and some of them are still alive, and it's terrifying. I mean, it's like...
So, was this the first time you've seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Were you like,
But lots of my friends...
when the first frog hits the windshield, are you like, what the fuck's going on?
It
Like,
hit, and I went,
when-
oh!
I remember the cinema. Everyone was sitting there going, "What?" And then, like, so picture like all these people in the cinema and they go, "What?" And then everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
And then it's happening, slowly first, like it
Yeah.
does with hail, and then it's like full on. And like I think about the final shot with the frogs, where they're like raining on Earl Partridge's house and in the pool, and it's like a nightmare. It's like a nightmare scene, and it's it's really a great capture of intense and absurd. So you're not really sure whether to laugh or be terrified, because it is terrifying.
But the frogs put everyone in the place that they're supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
True.
The frogs had Donnie talking to the cop. The frogs started the fire in his house. So this guy that did something so terrible is going to burn to death sitting in his chair, right? They got, it's
That's so cool. Okay, well, let's roll into best parts. And I already said I love the scene where they're all singing Wise Up. I thought that was good. The other one that was just heartbreaking was Linda, where she's with the lawyer and saying, "I don't want the money. Like, I don't want the money. I don't want the money." And the lawyer's like, calm down. Just take the money. That and the "Don't Call Me Lady" scene. You know, my big takeaway from this, Kim does it to me all the time where, you get irritated at some dick out there that you encounter in the world, and she says, "You know what? You have no idea what's going on in anybody's life, so don't worry about it." And I think it's such good advice. And that I thought about Kim's advice when I was watching that "Don't Call Me Lady" theme. Like, you just never know what someone's got going on in their life. Mm-hmm.
Also, probably some of the most unprofessional pharmacists I've ever seen in my life.
So true.
Like, why are you giving this lady the 5th degree? Like, just put her pills in a bag and leave her alone.
Fill the script, bro.
Yeah,
It was late. You get a bit punchy, at the end of the shift, I think.
Yeah, you never know what the pharmacist is going through, actually. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, other best parts?
The game show, I really thought that the game show, when it starts to like dissolve and like this, they're kind of in the middle of this like collapse of the show. Stanley's not wanting to get up because he's peed his pants and he's just at his limit, but he doesn't want to have like a meltdown with it. I mean, like that to me really stood out as like also a kind of a point where the movie starts to come together. I thought that at the beginning, I mean, I have it for my favorite quotes, but like the scene at the beginning where Jimmy the cop comes out and he's leaving the scene and he gets confronted by the kid who's trying to tell him like, I know who did the murder, and then he does the rap. I have the rap as my favorite quote for this movie because like I really like it stood out to me as like this kid like rules, and like this is like an epic kind of way to begin the film, right?
I think when the cop loses his gun, he's.
Can you imagine?
My heart.
Can you imagine?
But my heart. He's such a good guy. He's so lonely and he's trying so hard, and you just feel for him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, would have done quite well with the Manosphere, but never once interacts with it in any capacity in this film.
And good for him. And look how kind he is to her. You know, this cop falling in love with this girl that has so much trauma and she's addicted, and when they're like just whispering to each other at the end, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that he had no sense that she was a cokehead through anything.
Completely
Like,
over his head.
Totally blinded by love, totally unaware that this girl is gacked out. Like, she can't even make a cup of coffee correct. Like,
You're listening to your music way too loud. He's
Yeah,
like standing in her living room, like towering over her, like giving her this fifth degree, and she's standing there just like.
And we've all been there when we've done like more than a few grams and it's completely out of our minds, right?
Oh, sure.
Not relatable. Don't have that tax bracket.
Oh, my brother says Coke is God's way of telling you make too much money.
Clip it.
Okay, I had Phil's grocery order on my list of favorites. I kind of think, Will, you might have had this grocery order at one time. Peanut butter, smokes, and porn. Does that sound familiar?
I mean, he's a simple man. I respect it.
So you don't want the bread or the peanut butter.
Like the simple things
that was
in
really
life.
funny. Yeah, you still want the bread, the bread or the peanut butter. Yeah,
You want it. It's just not for what you think it's for.
I had a best part was when, God, I can't remember the names. Is it Claudia,
Yeah.
the cokehead girl? Claudia and her father, when he comes to tell her that he's like dying, and she's just flipping out, like, fuck you, I don't give a fuck, like, freaking out. I was like, that's so intense. Like, what did this guy, because you don't know in the beginning of the movie, you're like, what did this guy do?
Yeah.
That he fucked up so bad that she doesn't give a damn that he's dying in front of her. That was amazing. Great acting.
By the way, I'll just note Jimmy Gator is one of the greatest names ever. I love it. Worst parts, I'm going to lean into worst parts by asking you guys, are there too many stories packed into one movie?
No. So for me, there are movies that you're allowed to critique, and there are movies that you have to submit to for what it is. And for me, you just
Are we
have
talking
to,
about porn
like,
again? Like,
you just have to submit. You've got to submit to this movie fully. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to have a worst part.
Yeah.
It's not that I had a problem with the number of storylines. It was that I felt like the storylines had scenes in them where shots were too long, where things were repeated, where they would cut away and then they'd cut back. And there were times where it seemed to me like there was more than was necessary. That's what stands out to me. And when I was listening on YouTube, I found an interview with Paul Thomas Anderson where he was talking about if I had to remake this movie, the one difference that I would do is I would make it shorter. And I thought that was, that stood out to me as like, yeah, I could see how over time, maybe that's the thing that wouldn't have aged the best about this film. But I can appreciate that it is what it is, and that it kind of, its place in film history is kind of its length and the density of the film as like the story. So that's fair enough, but yeah.
How much do you think PTA left on the cutting room floor? It
Oh
was
my
3
God.
hours, 6 minutes.
I think
Like-
nothing.
4.5 hour movie.
Yeah, he must have shot like
He's a
30
good
hours of
director,
footage.
man.
There was
Great
actually
director.
another day before this day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna rattle off from my list some worst parts. You tell me if you guys agree. Calling your son a smart little fucker. I had Stanley's dad as one of the worst. Losing your gun, obviously. I think molesting your own kid, that goes on the worst list.
Easily.
Well, I mean, those are worse things that people did, but it's not the worst part of the movie,
Well,
right? Because it's showing the
I
character.
didn't have a lot of complaints with this movie, so I
you
leaned
had to
into
find
judging
something.
the characters.
I'll do a worst
Okay,
part. I got a worst part. The opening black and white, whatever you call it, vignettes.
Urban legends.
Yeah.
I don't know how that fit into anything. I know, Olen, you asked me like a pre-pod question of what's my
Well,
favorite.
yeah, I
urban
was going to
legend.
go into the urban legends and ask everybody what their favorite urban legend is. I thought that was kind of cool. Now, I don't know what it had to do with the movie.
Me too. That was the worst part for me. I was like, "What is this?" And then it doesn't really tie
Why
in.
don't
at all, I
you?
feel like.
Oh, then why don't we do the favorite urban legends right now?
Okay. What,
Urban.
Since
yeah,
you brought
what's
it
your
up.
favorite urban legend? Because, but by the way, those
Boys,
two
go ahead.
stories, those are urban legends I've heard when I was a kid. Both of those, neither of them true that I can tell.
Yeah, the plane one I had heard before. Hadn't heard that third one about like jumping off the building and getting shot by your mom through the window as you fall. That's awesome. I mean, that's hilarious. To me, that was like what it meant, the urban legends. It was like things just happen. And so it was tying into sort of that with like how Jimmy Gator goes to kill himself, but then like the frog falls through the skylight. And my favorite urban legend, I mean, you asked me this question before I watched the movie, so I was like, how does this tie in? And the 27 Club was what I had for my list. Like this idea that like musicians and artists, like there's so many of them who die at the age of 27.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting
Kurt
one.
Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix.
My favorite urban
Jimi
legend
Hendrix.
is the babysitter with the murderer in the house. You guys know that one where she keeps
Yeah.
getting these prank calls, and then eventually, I mean, they turned it into a movie, but it's an urban legend.
Yeah. My favorite urban legend is 100% straight guys.
That's
I'm
awesome.
laughing so hard at that one.
But there's a story in London, and I think it might be an urban legend that. So Carluccio, he was this famous Italian. He had a chain of cafes called Carluccio's, and I don't know why, but the owner of Gaydar, which was like it was online dating before apps, had too much ketamine and jumped off of his balcony, and the story went that Carluccio, who is known to be having a nervous breakdown, his wife was like, why don't you just go sit on the balcony, like on the ground floor of their building? And then the guy from Gaydar's body landed in front of him. And I think that's probably an urban legend.
Probably.
I don't know if this counts as urban legend, but I'm from the Okanagan, and we have a famous
Ogopogo.
famous lake monster called the Ogopogo that lives in our lake
like that.
and is like 100 or 200 years old or
Yeah,
something.
it's good. I like that one. Okay, you want to do some favorite lines?
Oh, I got some favorite
for it.
lines. My favorite lines. Let me just look them up here. You can cut.
Well,
this,
here, I've got mine right here.
Go for it.
Presents with a double ass meaning, gifts I bestow with my riff and my flow. But you don't hear me though, think fast, catch me yo, 'cause I throw what I know with the resonance. For your trouble ass fiend and the weaning yourself off the shelf. You know, and then it keeps going.
That's great.
Check that ego, come off it. I'm the prophet, the professor. I'm gonna teach you about the worm who eventually turned to catch wreck with the neck and the long-time oppressor. I mean, it's just like, I was like, this kid's going off. I can't even do it justice.
That was
Yeah.
that scene also has one of my favorite lines. He's talking to the cop and he says, "Put me on the payroll and find out."
Yeah.
Love that. That's a great, like, just put your money where your mouth is. And then another favorite line, cold open: "Respect the cock, tame the cunt."
Master of the muffin.
Perfect.
It's great. I had the scene with John C. Reilly and the girl. I'll tell you everything. You tell me everything. Maybe we can get through all the piss and shit and lies that kill other people.
Wow.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I liked Stanley saying, "Dad, you need to be nicer to me."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Twice. He says it twice.
Ice cold.
And when Whiz Kid Donnie Smith says, "I'm sick and I'm in love," and then the character at the bar, his name is Thurston Howell. Olen.
The fourth.
Thurston Howell, you seem to be. So he says, Donnie says, "I'm sick, I'm in love," and the other guy says, "You seem this sort of person who confuses the two." And Donnie says, "That's right. That's the first time you've been right. I confuse the two."
Yeah. Powerful stuff.
And don't go away, you fucking asshole. Don't go away, you fucking asshole. Don't go away, you fucking asshole. Because that shows that sort of like, I hate you, but don't go away. That was Frank T.J. Mackey. And, best line. "I have sickness all around me and you fucking asking me about my life. What's wrong? Have you seen death in your bed, in your house? Where's your fucking decency?" And then I'm asked fucking questions. "What's wrong? You suck my dick." That's the first time a woman ever said "suck my dick" in a movie.
I also liked, again, John C. Reilly. I guess this was my favorite character. "I hope to have a relationship that's very calm and understanding."
Wow.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck. And then just, I don't know why this one got me as super, super funny as when Tom Cruise comes back after the interview and he comes back to his group of men and says, "How did you guys like those nachos?" Just thought, it was so funny in my head to imagine all of these guys there to learn about how to tame the cunt, and they're just eating nachos with liquid cheese at lunch. It's so funny.
Ooh.
Okay, you guys want to hear how this movie did?
Sure. Oh, I bet it did good.
Do you? Well, according to Box Office Mojo Worldwide, Magnolia was the 63rd biggest earner at the box office in 1999. So Phantom Menace was the biggest earner at the box office this year, and frankly, it was a great year for movies. So Magnolia was beat by Sixth Sense, The Matrix, American Beauty, Austin Powers, but it was also beat by Lake Placid, which is a great movie, but I just didn't expect it to beat this. What did it beat? Well, here's a couple of titles that it did better than: Muppets in Space.
What?
Being John Malkovich. So
That's a great film.
that's another great
do
one.
that
yeah.
one.
But my question for you, Matthew, why did this film not do better?
Because it's too intelligent. So, I don't think if whoever made this film was like you couldn't have thought you're going to have a blockbuster. This is not a blockbuster sort of movie. This movie was probably about they probably went, "We're going to make some money on it, but it's not going to be huge because it's intelligent and deep and emotional and long."
Okay, so it's
right?
intelligent and deep. Then why did it lose Best Oscar to Shakespeare in Love, which is vapid?
Because the people that vote for movies don't even necessarily have to see them. Did you?
Yeah,
know
they don't
that?
even watch
Are you kidding me?
They don't have to watch all the
Olen,
nominees.
It's not a requirement.
Olen, it's all marketing and handshakes.
Explains so much. Marketing and hand jobs.
Oh, it's marketing and handshakes and getting in there, and honestly, it's a hustle. Like they literally, some of the people that vote on movies haven't even seen the movies.
No, Shakespeare in Love is so bad, I wouldn't vote for it even if you gave me a hand job. I'm just going on the record.
I've only seen it once when it came out, and I thought it was fun, but I'd like to watch it again to see if I still like it or not. It was a great soundtrack.
Okay, well, I want to get into the numbers. Budget $37 million for this film. Box office guesses. Clef, so you can't say.
63rd top earner, 37 mil. I'm gonna say it made 60 million.
I was going to say that as
48.
No way.
By the time you loop in marketing budget, it probably just broke even at best. But always for me, the best judge of a movie is the Rotten Tomatoes score, critics and audience. So the question is, people that watch this movie, did they say it's good or not?
Do you know, I think the world would be a much better place if movies like this did better than break even, because it would say that people are actually getting in touch with their emotions and their brains.
They're-
And imagine if this type of movie was the blockbuster, it'd be a good world to live in.
Meanwhile, we're in a Fast and Furious world.
Yep.
A franchise, nonetheless. We need a Magnolia franchise.
But you can't have every restaurant can't be a Michelin star restaurant. You need to
Why
hit a
not?
McDonald's once in a while. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Matthew loves McDonald's.
It's everything. You got to take the good with the bad.
Matthew's the only friend I have with a French fry T-shirt.
And hamburger shoes that I wear on the one time I go to McDonald's.
Okay,
year.
let's get back to work here.
And no, wait, and I have a cheeseburger wallet that I saved just for that trip to McDonald's once a year.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
I'm gonna guess it's full of coupons.
It has nothing in it, and I watched a lottery
just
ticket
got-
yesterday,
just
so now
got
I'm really
condoms in it.
worried that like my local shop is gonna have we sold the 40 million winner, and it's destroyed.
Heartbreaking. You could be a story in the sequel. Matthew with his hamburger wallet and his lost lottery ticket. Oh my god!
That would be totally a character in
It
this
writes
film,
itself.
Yeah.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. Critics, did they like it? Audience, did they like it? What do you guys think? How close can you get? Because it's
I've thought
for me
this.
a tough one. Like, would people actually like this movie or not?
So, here's my thinking. Critics adore films like this, right? This is such a critic movie, so I'm going to say critics 90. Audience, so if you are all the way in and you're not being forced to watch this movie to give an opinion about it on a podcast, right? If you wouldn't watch it at all. So I'm going to say that the audience score is probably around 85 because the people giving the scores are the people that are already naturally drawn to it. So 85 audience, 90 critics.
I'm gonna go critics 85, audience 70.
Yeah, no, that logic passes to me. I'm going to go with critics 85. I'm going to go with audience 80.
You guys, crazy good. So critics 82,
Nice.
audience 89.
Wow.
Interesting.
It was flipped.
Audience higher than critics
So-
on Magnolia.
Wow.
Wow.
You're not giving the public enough credit, Matthew.
The thing with what you said, Matthew, is that I wonder if people knew what they were getting into. Like I would have put audience low. To be honest, I would have put it low because this is a heavy film. I don't think it's for everybody. And 1999, we were still in an era where you didn't know everything about a movie before you went in to see it. So I think you see this movie poster, and the first thing that you see is a guy scuba diver being scooped up by a plane. I think you would go, what am I in for? So I would have thought it was lower, but you guys did really well. Will, a 22, which is a great score. Clef and Matthew, you tied at 12, coming at it from different angles.
There you go.
Yep.
What was PTA's like career like at this point? He had done Boogie Nights, but was he like PTA that we consider him today?
No,
Was
Boogie
he
Nights
hot,
is
hot?
when he became that PTA.
Right.
Boogie Nights was his big breakout. That's when he became, well, like I said at the beginning, that's when he got the juice to make any film he wanted.
What year was Boogie Nights? 90 something?
I will look.
1997.
It was 2 years before this? Okay.
Okay, so a little bit of trivia for you guys.
What other movies has he done?
He's done good One Battle After Another. That's his newest one.
My favorite of his
that's
is
good.
There Will Be Blood.
is.
That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, that's good. One Battle After Another is fantastic.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen
I
it.
hate that movie. It's so I could not get through it. That's for another pod though. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. A little bit of trivia for you guys. So New Line Cinema wanted to push the film as a Tom Cruise movie, but PTA refused, saying it was an ensemble piece.
That's smart.
It's still the only thing I really knew about this movie before going into it was that it was a Tom Cruise movie. I was actually surprised that he wasn't like a bigger main character of it, although I guess in some ways he was kind of like the central character in
See,
many.
that's funny because I thought of it as a Philip Seymour Hoffman movie when I went to first see it.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, interesting.
He's got a
sure, I
small
could see
part.
that.
Yeah.
PTA states that this is the best movie he thinks he'll ever make.
He set a standard for himself there. I can say that much, right?
Tragically, Jason Robards died of lung cancer a year after this film was released. You know, we didn't talk much about Jason Robards. I mean, he's an older actor from
Which one was he? Was he
He's
the dying
Earl
father?
Partridge, the dying father. You know, he's more known, I think.
Or I guess there's two dying fathers. Which one?
He's the one in the
one that-
bed that Julianne.
The one who spends the time in bed.
Cancer. The
Right,
cancer.
right.
I read, I don't know if this is true, but I read that he had been in a coma like for a few weeks before the filming of this movie.
Yeah.
That like he was actually true, that he was really sick.
He was
during
really
this.
sick.
Wow, he was method acting in preparation for this movie. That's crazy.
Method acting preparation, yeah.
Yep. The character that Philip Seymour Hoffman plays is based on himself. No acting. He just he presented it as himself. This is interesting.
So sad that he died.
He died way too soon. He's a tremendous actor. George C. Scott was offered the Jason Robards role, but turned it down because he thought the script was a pile of shit.
Well, there you go.
And
Oops.
7,900 rubber frogs were made for this movie.
Wow.
That's all. Can you imagine getting that order? You're like at the dollar store, and they're like, "Do you have rubber frogs?" Yeah, back in aisle 3. Do you have 7,895 more?
They couldn't just go up to 7,900 at that point. They couldn't just get 5 extra.
That's so
Okay,
funny.
let's move on. Woke or joke, Matthew? Do you think I can?
This even number.
Matthew, do you think I can find anything woke or joke in this movie?
I think this it's not really about woke or joke, and because the Tom Cruise character, right, is, his character actually, the movie holds together a lot because of that character in a weird way, and that's the irony of it all. He's playing this grotesque caricature of masculinity that's become known to us, but I think the film just completely pulls it apart piece by piece at the end. So it's what he's saying is not woke, but how the movie handles it very much is.
Well, I picked one thing from the movie that I said is not cool. See if you guys agree. I think a stranger cop asking you if you're single.
That's inappropriate.
That's what I thought. He's asking her out at the door, and I thought, this is like, you shouldn't be doing that.
I mean, he even prefaces it with like, I know this isn't okay. And I mean, he gets established as like, he's a terrible cop. Like, he's just not good at being a police officer.
But he loves it so much.
Like in any
Although
he loves it so much.
He wants to help people.
We should give him credit for, asking consent before even doing it. That most cops wouldn't even
That's
do
very
that.
true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I picked up a
Very
cop
true.
in Lithuania once.
Of course.
of course you did.
Did he pick you up first, or
No, I picked him up. It was in a gay bar.
Nice. Was he on duty?
No, unfortunately, no uniform.
Did he lose his gun?
He hit it.
No, I hid my gun.
Okay, let's talk about reviews. However you guys felt about this movie, I promise you there's others who liked it more or less than you. For this movie, there were 468 10-star reviews out of 1,632. This is a well-reviewed movie. So I got just a couple of quotes for you guys
Wow.
to see what you think. This movie is chaos, and somehow it's exactly right. I didn't understand everything, but I felt it all.
Ah, that's good.
that's a well put.
It's 3 hours long and somehow still feels like it needed to be. Do you agree, Matthew?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
People seem to think that.
You don't watch this movie, you survive it.
Yep.
I came in skeptical and left emotionally rearranged.
Yep.
And then just some studio notes here. This is what happens when a director stops asking for permission.
Yep.
So let's hear from people who liked it less. So compared to the 468 10-star, 170 people gave it 1 star. So lots of people didn't like it. I kept waiting for it to start making sense. It never did.
You're an idiot.
3 hours of people being sad and then frogs. If this is genius, I'm officially out of my depth.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's fair.
And one last one. I feel like I missed something. I'm not going back.
Your IQ is 50.
Okay, let's hear from the professionals. Matthew,
I'm such a snob. I'm such a fucking snob.
that's okay. We like you that way.
But come on, it's.
Honestly, my mind has been changed in this conversation, but I did like 3 hours of people being sad and then frogs. I think that's a valid.
Accurate.
It's valid.
One
It's
star.
accurate, but it's not bad.
No,
So, Matthew, do you think Siskel and Ebert liked this movie as much as you?
I'm gonna say yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Siskel died, so by 1999 he was dead. But Ebert loved it. He said this is a big, ambitious, messy movie, and I mean that in a good way. Paul Thomas Anderson is swinging for something emotional and personal here, not neat and tidy. It's not about whether every storyline works perfectly. It's about feeling that all those lives are connected in ways we don't understand. Some people will find it too long or too indulgent, but I admired it. It has real heart and it takes risks most people wouldn't even attempt.
Did he start going 2 thumbs up on his own?
But he has it on his list of best films of all
Because he
time.
could go like this. He could go 1 up, 1 down, so it was like an okay movie, right? Or 2 downs or 2 ups.
Well, ironically, Siskel died of cancer, like Earl Partridge. Okay,
We're all getting it.
remake or sequel? Would
No.
you guys like to
No.
see more from this?
No, absolutely
This
not.
is the perfect. Don't fuck with it. Don't mess around with it.
I would like to.
Yeah.
I would like to see that one story segment of Matthew with his sad cheeseburger wallet and his lost lottery ticket. I think that would be good.
Well, hopefully you won't have to write that story.
So I'm gonna make a 15-minute long sequel for this.
I'm living in fear to see a sign up in the window of that shop.
I do agree that the formula could be like reused in different ways. I mean, it's funny, like for how many film reviewers and like filmmakers talked about this being their favorite movie. I feel like you would see more movies that kind of follow this format, but yeah, I don't know if it would be a remake.
The sequel will just be Mathew in Lithuania, like with the cop.
With his cheeseburger wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of a game show, it's a podcast
Is that
everyone comes.
Is that what he calls it? Is that a
Like
euphemism?
cheeseburger.
You know, I love this movie, but I could not watch too many movies like this. It is long and it is draining, right? If you're into it. But I think for anybody that, you know, admires acting, like this is acting. Like
Great story.
Um,
I've
never seen a better example of good acting than this, honestly.
I'm glad you guys liked it because I think we're intelligent guys here, right? Like there's
All of
average
us?
punters out there.
As I
Let's be honest, there are average punters out there that are really quite base, and I'm glad you guys. Such an old movie that I love so much that you got something out of it. I'm gonna say one thing: watch it again. And how old are you guys? 30?
31.
33.
Watch it again in another 30 years and you'll feel it more because what I was talking about, like, I've had a lot of time for fuck ups
Yeah,
and regrets.
For sure. Let's meet back here in 30 years.
Yeah, let's come back in 30 years. I'll be dead.
Well, let me ask this, a theme from the movie. You guys feel if it was deathbed today, you guys feel you got any regrets that you gotta clean up? You guys got lots of
Oh,
time.
sure.
Mine right now is I've spent the last number of years working and not traveling anywhere in the world. That's my only regret. But my ass is broke and my husband's unemployed right now, so that's not going to happen.
That's why that cheeseburger wallet is empty.
I know. I have no cheeseburger funds.
No huge regrets right now. I got to live my life a little bit more, I think.
I hurt a few people, but I've also apologized to them, so I've now let that go.
I wish that I'd done more in my 20s for like pursuing my goals in my life, but I mean, that kind of fuels where I'm at now, where I feel like I'm kind of at a lower step in my career than I thought I would be at this point, but like things are going a lot better and more in their direction. So it's hard to look at I don't relate to in this film the sort of the pain and regret that they feel to that degree.
We all are very lucky that we don't have those kinds of traumas in our life, right? Like these people went through some horrible stuff. But yeah, Matthew, I liked what you said. I mean, for me, I don't feel like I'm leaving a lot of regrets behind because I sort of learned a long time ago. It's not so hard to just say sorry, right? Like in my younger days, I could have easily have done something maybe shitty to somebody and just moved on and said whatever. It is what it is. These days, I realize it's not so hard just to say sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And
Speaking of saying sorry, I am sorry. I do have to leave. I have a wedding Zoom that I'm a little late
It's
for.
okay. We're done. We're done with the funny part of this podcast.
What's a wedding Zoom?
I'm calling with a videographer for the wedding.
Oh, dude, any big directors that you're getting to do your?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
It's my best man's girlfriend, so she's.
Oh, can you imagine
she's
if
on
you
the
got
rise.
Paul Thomas Anderson to do your wedding?
That would be a long wedding video.
3 hours long.
But I'm gonna bow out. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Will. I kind of think we're done with this anyhow. But I forgot to get Is It Too Old or Pure Gold from him. What's it?
I was going to assume that he was going to say gold,
Yeah, he's gonna say gold.
but I can't speak for him. So
Yeah.
I'll do his voice. So
Okay.
ask us.
Okay. Will, is this movie too old or pure gold?
Pure gold,
Okay, Matthew, is this movie too old or pure gold?
solid gold.
I love it. I will note for all you listeners out there, if you're listening to this and you didn't watch the movie, I'll say I didn't like it my first watch. So the first time I watched it, I went away feeling like I don't know what that was, and it was my second watch that I said I love this movie.
yeah, I didn't think I was going to like it when I was about an hour in. I'm glad that I watched it in 2 parts. I could see myself watching it again and it growing on me. Yeah,
Matthew makes a
It's
great
on my
point. Like watch it again in 30 years, like it really hits differently at 60.
I could see that.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see that.
Thanks for spending the time, guys. This was a fun one, Matthew. I'm glad I found a movie that you like that has equal depth to Jim Cotta.
Do you guys know what I've been doing this weekend? We've gotten through the first 4 Dirty Harry movies this weekend.
Oh, they're so good.
It's fun. I love Dirty Harry.
I thought it was I thought Dirty Harry was a Western until I put it on this weekend.
In some ways, it is a Western, but it's like a noir detective Western.
San Francisco is west, isn't it?
Yeah, it's as west as it gets.
They're very good. I can't wait to do that movie on the podcast.
Yeah, we only have Deadpool left that we'll probably watch tonight. So.
Okay. Well, have a good day, guys.
Take it easy.
See ya.